Hello, it's nice to see everybody. Today we're going to speak about how AI is transforming the retail sector. You know, a few months ago I read in The Economist that 43% of people in retail were actually very excited about how AI was going to transform the industry in the next 3 years. They had a very positive outlook. That is more than people in manufacturing, more than people in pharmaceuticals, and more than their peers in technology. So what is it that people in retail know about AI that makes them so excited and much more than their peers? So let's find out. Please help me welcoming our panelists. Marc Giroux, who's Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer Food at Metro. Gary Bogdani, who's Head of North America Data Science and Canada Data and Analytics at Unilever. Mathieu Houle, who is CIO at the Aldo Group. Rex Lee, who is Chief Information and Technology Officer at Canadian Tire Corporation. Nabil Tayeb, who is CEO and co-founder at Draft & Goal. And Maxime Cohen, who is Professor of Retail and Operations Management at the Des Hôtels Faculty at McGill University, at the Ben Sadoun School of Retail, also at McGill University, and he is also Scientific Advisor in AI at Ivado Labs. Ladies and gentlemen, your panel. And so the format is very simple. I'm going to chat with Marc for some time, and then the others are going to join. We're going to end the dance with Nabil, and really end the dance with Maxime Cohen. So that's the program today. Marc, I was excited to see you today, and curious also, because you're not an AI person per se. You're a business person. Yet you're here because AI is now part of how you do business and part of your, should I say, day-to-day, and part of how you envision what's next at Metro?
Certainly. So I'm happy to be here. Happy to be in Montreal talking about AI. We have such a dynamic ecosystem in Montreal. I think that's a privilege to be all here today. I work in an industry that generates a lot of data. Hey, we're grocery retail in Canada is an industry of $130 billion, and Canadians visit stores across Canada 2.4 billion times a year. So you can imagine that those visits, buying products, a variety of 30 to 40,000 SKUs, are generating a lot of transaction data. Loyalty programs, supply chain. We have the privilege of having a high-frequency business, so feedback on the data and everything we do on a weekly basis. So AI in that context, it can be an addition to data, to processing data, to help our teams with information and insight to take action. It can also be used to predict demand and to predict outcome, business outcome across the business and supply chain, loyalty, digital, e-com, et cetera. But it can also automate tasks. And I think it's the balance between all of that to make sure that your teams are engaged that makes a difference. Change management.
You talk about your teams. How do you feel that the culture might change because of AI? Do you have concerns about that?
At Metro, we started really using data, and Gary from Unilever is right here, and he's been part of that journey with Metro. We launched loyalty programs in 2010. We launched a digital ecosystem. Canadian Tire, I was saying how impressed I was of the digital transformation of Canadian Tire. But we've all been on this journey of leveraging customer data to improve our commercial strategy, price, promotion, assortment. And I've lived through that as a CMO at the time, trying to influence merchant, to go from using their experience and intuition to using data and data analytics to develop better strategy and better business outcomes for our customers. And it's been a challenging journey.
Why?
It took, I'd say, 3 to 5 years in really instilling in our culture the use of data. When AI started to arrive, a lot of the comments internally is again, Marc, with the buzzwords, what is AI and why AI? So again, it's been a culture or a learning process, and Maxime was kind enough to come to our executive committee and to our board to talk about AI in the last years, and we start to use it, small projects, and with results. So now it's part of the discussion, it's part of our technology program to improve our business.
Give us an example of one of the small projects that are AI-based.
So our CIO, Frédéric Legault, who's very in tune with the AI and how we can apply it in the business. The first project was at the self-checkout. I'm sure as consumers you go through our self-checkout in grocery, and in the self-checkout you have to weigh your produce, and you have to enter a 4-digit code to find your produce,
right,
and then choose the variety. So Frédéric, first project was to have AI image recognition identify what product was on the balance, so you could choose between the different apples instead of finding the apple in the system. So that was a small project that didn't require a lot of change management. And then we moved on, and when I talk about a journey, we moved from predicting demand in grocery, in our grocery department, so dry product, simple product with a SKU, and we automated that from start to finish. So shelves are replenished automatically without anybody making a decision on what product should be ordered for the store. And that was successful. But in fresh, we chose to do it differently, to continue to empower our store department manager in produce or in meat to have the data, have the information, but continue to make their decision. And we're giving them a report to say if they are outperforming AI, which is quite rare, or if they should change their behavior. And that allowed to manage change. And for me, I'm not an expert in AI at all, but I'm an operator. And for me, implementing any technology program, but even more so with AI, which can remove the accountability from people for results, which is not what you want in a business. We want to introduce AI as a tool to help people achieve better outcome, continue to be accountable for their results. And in instances where there's really no value for someone to make a decision or change an outcome, then you automate. But for me, in business, at least from my small experience over the last 2 to 3 years with AI, that's something that I'm always very focused on, is what's the right level of automation to make sure that people continue to be accountable for their results, have new tools, can make better decisions, and ultimately the objective is to deliver that value for consumers, fresher product in stock with better financial performance.
So you talked about resistance a little bit at the office. Did you feel a little resistance from the merchants, although you're giving them this independence?
Definitely,
still? Yeah.
Definitely. If you go to a store and you say to a 20-year experienced produce manager, you've been ordering and forecasting your demand for your department, and then per category and then per product for 20 years, but a machine is going to do this for you. At the beginning, people are resistant. As merchant, we're resistant of using data analytics to make better decisions. So it's all about helping people try it. That's why we developed that report to say, you know what, continue to do whatever you want. You're accountable for the P&L or the financial results of your department. If you can achieve better results by your own, but very quickly, when you have 4,900 SKUs to manage in a department, AI does a pretty good job at incorporating weather. Like the model that we developed with a partner has 92 input. Someone can't do that. So for sure, it provides better tools, better forecasting tool, and better outcome. And for people that are not familiar with a meat department in our business, you have to order the meat, the muscle. Then our butcher needs to cut the muscle and prepare different kind of cuts for customers. And meat is very expensive, as you all know. If you don't do that well, it's very difficult to achieve the profitability in a store that you want to achieve. So AI helps understand which cuts should be in the department, depending on the day. Weekends and the beginning of the week is not the same thing. Summer, fall, winter is not the same thing. And as we have labor challenges, especially in Quebec with aging population, it's more and more difficult to keep and have experienced butcher and employee in our stores. So these tools help younger store managers and store department managers and butchers and other frontline employees to make better decisions, even though they don't have the 20-year experience. So very positive outcome.
So explain to me how AI, besides the self-checkout counter, how AI is going to transform my experience in one of your stores.
For a customer?
Yep.
At a customer perspective, the easiest example is our loyalty programs, our personalization engine, and our web platform and e-commerce platform.
So your loyalty program is called Moi.
It is. It's an evolution of Metro et Moi, which was launched in 2010 and has evolved to now include all of the different banners of Metro Inc. in Quebec, Jean Coutu, Brunet, Super C, Première Moisson, so Quebecers can shop in all of our banners and accumulate savings. So with that new loyalty program, we're reaching now close to 2.5 million Quebecers across the province, households. And the opportunity is to better understand the needs of each of these households, and with AI and generative AI, develop tools that will facilitate their lives. And there's a zillion examples in grocery, as if we know what you buy and if we know what you eat, we know what you are. So depending on what you buy, we know you have kids, and if you have kids, we know what your challenges are, and with the data and with the product data, working with our CPGs partner, like Unilever, we can then develop tools that help people build their shopping list, start with a shopping list at the beginning of the week. We're not there yet at Metro, but those are tools that exist. Then we can personalize. We issue more than 1 billion personalized coupons to help.
1 billion.
Yeah. The permutation of customer basket coupons on a weekly basis is more than 1 billion coupons a year that are all personalized to your preference. And in our business, we work in a very, very highly competitive environment. We compete with very large global grocery retailers that are a significant player in Canada. The ability to manage margin and to go from mass promotion to personalized promotion and being able to be more relevant to customer, that's something that we've been doing since 2010, but AI now is going to continue to improve that and enrich the experience. So that's one experience, one example. Another example is search results.
If I go to the platform, you mean?
Yeah,
okay.
And if you search to build your grocery list or to do a shopping cart, grocery is complex. We have 30 to 40,000 SKUs. In the milk, or the word milk or cream or 10% is going to be in
many products.
100 products. So as you search, the quality of the results are quite variable. So we've invested a lot of time and money to improve that. But now with AI and with Coveo, a partner of ours, and Louis spoke yesterday. I don't know if some of you heard him talk about this, but we're working to improve the algorithm with our data, working with Coveo, to improve their algorithm and their tools to provide, again, better outcome for our customers and make their life simpler and be more relevant.
Right.
If you search a broth to cook, well, hopefully Knorr is going to come up. And if you buy Knorr, and if you're a customer of Knorr, instead of another brand. So those are the kinds of stuff that we are doing.
First of all, I think you just demystify something for many of us. It's Knorr, not Knorr.
I don't know.
Thanks.
It's Knorr, right?
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned Knorr just to...
No, it is Knorr, but it's good.
It's a Unilever product, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But yes. So tell us about something you're excited about, something that started to cook at Metro with AI that we may get to experience in a few months.
What I'm really excited about at Metro, we say that everything starts and ends with the customer. People that cross our door and shop our store, that's the most important thing that we care about. So, and we've been on that journey since 2010 to personalize the experience and improve the experience. Our store managers have their customer report. With the data, we tell them how they're succeeding around our 5 customer promises. So we use data to inform our teams and to and so they can also become passionate or continue to be passionate about customers and serve their customer. With AI, what excites me really is 2 things. How can we make our process more efficient to extract cost reinvest that in the business and be even more competitive and provide value to customer. And we just have a new initiative at Metro where we structured a team, and I was saying I'd love to meet with the CIO team of Canadian Tire to understand their journey, but we have a new team that's going to be focused at operational excellence and taking cost out of the business through process improvement, and AI is going to be part of that. So that's one thing, and for me, again, it's about the customer. If I can reduce my cost, I bring that value to consumer across all of our business, either pharmacy, food conventional, service business, Metro, our discount banners, Food Basics and Super C, Première Moisson, our artisan bakery. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, how do we continue to personalize and simplify the shopping experience for our customers? We do our grocery every week. We eat every day, 3 times a day. It's a task. Sometimes it's an exciting task because we're hosting people at home and we're cooking a great meal. Sometimes we make a grilled cheese at lunch and it's a task. So
Still
how
delicious.
do we, eh?
Still delicious.
Still delicious if you buy it Metro.
Yeah.
But how do we make that experience more personalized, relevant to consumers? And how do we deliver value, savings through all of our programs? It's pretty simple. We're not going to the moon, but I think AI is going to help us make that more relevant. An example, a real example that's live for 3 weeks now, we invested more than $1 billion in new distribution center in Ontario and in Quebec. Our Quebec fresh and frozen 600,000 square feet warehouse is now operational, and it's powered by automation, robotic, and AI. We have a partner called Vitron. So as a Canadian retailer, sometimes you want to invest and develop things that are relevant for you, and other times you partner because...
and is Vitron Canadian?
Vitron is a German company that are experts in implementing automated automated warehouse that's powered by data analytics and AI. And an example, a simple example that's not really relevant for consumers, but when you pack a pallet of fresh product in a warehouse, there's all kinds of categories that have different weight, and some of those products are fragile. And you want to assemble those pallets in an automated way and ship to the store so they'll be efficiently unpacked and put at shelf. And you want those products to be as fresh as you can. You don't want them, it's not a warehouse. Did I mention the word warehouse? It's not a warehouse, it's a distribution center. We don't want product to sit there, we want product to flow. Those fresh product to flow very fast. So AI is at the core of the optimization of our supply chain, and it's live. It's live in Ontario with a frozen warehouse. It's live in Quebec since the last 3 weeks to deliver better freshness, better assortment, and more in stock for our store.
Congratulations. I look forward to doing my next groceries. I'll have you in mind. I'll be looking for the new gadgets.
At Metro.
Yes, at Metro, folks, at Metro. Gary, Mark mentioned NOR, but at Unilever, you have so many different types of products. How is AI applied based on, let's say, the type of products? Because you have food, but you have personal products as well.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. Let's get one thing out of the way. I love shopping at Metro online.
Okay. Everybody here loves shopping at Metro.
Great experience. Well, let me tell you a little bit about our journey. Your question is absolutely right and on point. There's complexity in the space. We have been doing AI for several years. I'm part of a group that's part of a group called Data and Analytics. We work for our Chief Data Officer. And our main objective is to deliver data intelligence solutions at scale and then support sustainable growth for our business. One very important principle, since we're talking about AI, that we follow is how do we make sure that machine and humans work together? So machine intelligence and human intelligence get working together and combined to get the best results. We've been doing AI for quite some time, and the current...
Gary, when you say quite some time, how many years about?
Well, I can tell you the Canadian data science program started in 2016.
Okay.
Mark mentioned a little bit our collaboration on data. So that's where we got kind of the first step towards organizing our data and building sort of a smart data strategy where we build analytics that can help our teams to make faster and better decisions. And then from there, it started growing. So not just looking at what happened in the past and why things happened, but also what's supposed to happen in the future, and then predicting the market dynamics and the behaviors so that we could react better. And today we have like over 300 AI applications in production globally at Unilever. Most of the work we're doing is in the space of machine learning. Of course, with ChatGPT, we've been doing Gen AI foundation models, before ChatGPT, but now we're seeing a lot of excitement around that space. So there's a lot of use cases. And if I were to classify the type of use cases we work on, one, Mark mentioned, how do we make things automated? Like, how do we, work on increasing productivity in the organization and with our partners? And that's one type of use cases that we're working on. And the other type is creativity. So how do we get to the consumer directly? For Mark, he's a customer. For us, he's a consumer, because retailers are customers for us. But how do we use AI and intelligence to actually learn about the consumer behaviors and then make sure that we get the right product at the right time to the consumer? I'll quickly mention one use case that we're working on that is a focus on a very important question that we want to answer. Where and how do we invest our trade money in promotions, in activities with our retailer partners? So we have worked on this for quite some time, several years. Actually, we started with research, of course, getting the data right, and then we have been collaborating with partners and also building our internal capability. We have a system that we started implementing last year that uses full machine learning-driven recommendations for our teams to help them with decision making and in the course of promotion planning. One very interesting use case that we started last year, we're almost done, and we're having some really great results, is utilizing this recommendation systems with a retailer partner, bringing the retailer early on in the journey, and then using the system to influence sort of the execution of promotions at store. Three things we've learned, and I'll close with this. Large-scale collaboration ecosystems work. If we run them well, they can give us a lot of results. So get results not just for Unilever, but also for the partners that we work with. The second is really, it is not about AI only. It's about how fast we adopt and how do we work with the business to actually embed AI in our processes. And then last but not least, it's talent. I always talk about talent because we have been investing in talent for quite some time. We work with universities. We work with research and innovation startups. We need to make sure that we leverage the talent that we have here in Canada. And a shout out to Scale AI. This is a project that Scale AI has also collaborated with us. It's the second one that we're doing in 3 years, and super happy with the results. Yeah.
Thank you. Absolute shout out to Scale AI, actually. Mathieu, you're at Aldo. It's a legacy brand, but it's also very fast-paced all the time. What's the challenge? How did you introduce AI, and what are the challenges?
So it started by, if you allow me to set the stage, we're nowhere near our friends at Metro and Unilever at Aldo Group, but we're very excited to announce today, actually, our first new partnership with Scale AI.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and so we're officially announcing it today.
Wait, explain it to us. What is it? You can't just drop that and not explain it.
It's a revenue management system, basically centered on demand forecasting, but especially for fashion retail, which is a bit different than my colleagues here. So the end game is the same, predicting where to put the product, at what price, and what quantities at the right time. For us is critical. So imagine you could have a crystal ball that would say, we would sell how many of these shoes in that store in 3 months. We'll save a lot of transportation of unsold. We will save on e-commerce orders and all of this. So for us, it's really the holy grail of retail, if you will, if you can predict that. And to Mac's point, and I think yours was, how do you balance that with humans and machine? In our case, we still have, the success is based on our people. You have to have human qualities such as creativity, empathy. If you think about a product designer that needs, right now they're designing the shoes for next year. And the store employees, they have to show these human qualities. I like to simplify things and say what AI can do for them is give them superpowers. So instead of wreaking stuff in the systems and crunching a lot of Excel spreadsheets, they could focus on their human qualities, human strengths. So less of the machine stuff and more of the human stuff. So
I'll use that superpower if I may. Well said.
Please, yeah. It resonates with them. So it also says we're not, there to replace the qualities of the human. We're there to just help you focus on your craft and your trade. So, yeah.
And what has changed for me as a consumer at Aldo when I walk into one of your stores, or if I go on aldo.com?
So
what has changed?
Recently, we had a collection on the Barbie shoes, and we have those shoes. So if you go to a store because you want to try them before, you're much more likely to have them in stock and be able to leave with them if we're better at forecasting. So what's a bit different maybe in fashion retail is we don't have a lot of stock, and maybe a bit similar like the fresh food, if you
Fresh
will.
produce.
Yeah, so the trends go away pretty quickly. So if we have better ways to forecast where we're going to sell, you would walk into that store or go online and make sure you could get those. I don't know if you're a Barbie fan, but those shoes that you
Sure.
want, basically, yeah.
For the purpose of this conversation. No, I love the movie. I love the movie, love the message. Would I wear pink shoes? No.
Yeah.
But
So basically, that's very exciting. We're building this in Montreal. So our main office is in Montreal. We have a team internally. Some of them are just right here with us today. But we're very happy to count on the support and help of Ivado Labs, which Maxime is here also representing in a bit. But to do that project, because we don't have all the means to have that talent. So to be able to count on the local ecosystem to do this is fantastic. So that's the, predicting the future is really our next very big, exciting project. We're going to use that to do markdown optimizations and better sourcing of our e-com orders. So we ship our e-com orders from the stores, for example. So a lot of optimization on the supply chain side. Two other areas that we see where AI is going to have an impact. Obviously, all the creation process part.
I was going to ask you, has AI entered the creative room?
Yes, for example, for stuff like product naming. So we do the product, and so we're the brand and the retailer, so we have the full process. So product descriptions, optimizations for SEO, which is definitely the boring side of for a copywriter. So we are doing this. We're not yet doing the variations, for example, of a campaign that you want to do all the different formats for different ads, but I see this coming to us probably from the vendors that are already in that domain. So that's a big one, and so that's a superpower again. Instead of being saving as in Photoshop, let AI do that for you and think about the next big campaign. And the third area it's called robotic process automation. So you wouldn't believe how much keying in there is in the lifetime of a shoe, from the creation to the end. So we see a lot of opportunities there of, instead of rekeying, use AI to do that, basically.
So it's exciting. It kind of positions Aldo as a maverick, in the AI space as a retailer, as a shoe retailer.
Yes, and I think because we were looking about, we're always thinking about build or buy. So for me, buy in the marketing sphere, there's big companies that will come up with automation. I think the large language model and all this will be embedded. It's already starting in a lot of the tools we use day to day. Same thing for automation. For prediction, if you will. So the machine learning part it's so specific to the industry you're in that we decided to take the build approach, again, with the help of people that have done it. But we feel that what influence the sales in fashion retail, shoes and handbags is different in other industries. So that's where building the model, training the model specifically for that. So you could think about, I was just talking backstage about how the changing economy affects the shoe. So when it was out of COVID, it was revenge shopping, like pink shoes and a lot of bling bling, and everybody was exciting. And when in the States, when the economy slowed down, it's black, brown, and maybe white, so that you can wear at the company party because of the changing economy. So there's no way a human being can process all of that data, CPI and stock markets and maybe mortgage, definitely the weather, the way that machine learning can do it. And that's what's very exciting for in the fashion retail industry. And we're looking forward to building that for sure.
We'll keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Rex, everybody has been to Canadian Tire.
Great.
I think everybody loves Canadian Tire because we trust it. It's part of our fabric. So you're this legacy brand, and we always associate Canadian Tire with safe, responsible. What does responsible AI mean to you, and what does it mean to the company?
It's, I'm glad you brought up responsible. It is such a core component of everything we do. So a big part of Canadian Tire is about trust. One of the most trusted companies in Canada. And so we take it very personally that we have a responsibility to ensure that what we do, how we do it, aligns with what would be the responsible use. Within AI, there's been so much interesting discussion about responsible AI. It's still being defined. So we've learned from other organizations. We think about everything from a regulatory, from a privacy perspective, the ethical use of things. For example, as folks look at open source LLMs or other various components that they could use, do you understand where that sourcing of that data is, the ethical sourcing of that data that can comprise and create incorrect assumptions and models? The bias that can be built into those models needs to be understood. And so before you jump into the easy, which is just take something off open source and start to apply it, we owe it to our customers and to Canadians to make sure that we've done our homework and we've made sure we've done things properly, and we work very hard at ensuring that the right things are being done. The application of AI is just so exciting.
Give us an example. How do you apply AI?
Yeah, every single function, every single role, every operation in Canadian Tire will be changed by AI. I have no doubt about that. I'm not saying tomorrow, but it will shift. And when you make these big kind of statements, you need to think about, so what's the strategy around that? And the way we sort of think about it is that, number one, you need to amplify your strategic differentiators. So at Canadian Tire, we take a lot of pride in really being here for life in Canada. And we have an assortment of products, which is very unique. You won't find it in any other retailer, just the assortment that we have. And what we've done, and we've partnered with others to do this, is we've accentuated that for the in-store experience. So not only do we have a unique assortment, but every store is then custom tailored using AI to really bring that assortment right for that community. And that changes on a regular basis. So we amplify strategic differentiators. We also look at those things that aren't strategic, but need to get done, and how do we simplify that? How do we eliminate that where possible? We heard some examples of that as well in terms of productivity. We are an investor and partner with a company called Sanctuary AI out of Vancouver. They do humanoid robotics with artificial intelligence. And we have them in some of our stores, our Mark stores and our Sport Check stores, and they do things like unstuff trucks or put labels on packages. They fold shirts, those kind of things that people don't really, it's not on your LinkedIn profile that I want to do that.
The AI folds the shirt?
The robot does this with an AI training. So we don't program the robot. We show it And like a child, it learns through observation and then creates a multiverse of scenarios that it can learn extremely rapidly. It's like the Matrix. And so it learns extremely quickly. So it can then take any box anywhere, any shirt anywhere, and fold it. It'll wash or do the cleaning that requires, or it'll do things that are dangerous.
Can I get one for my
Yeah,
my home?
I want one too.
I'll buy it.
one at home.
They're still a little bit pricey. They're not quite the economies yet that you need. But we've been doing this, or within our distribution centers, as we talked about as well. Things that people are lifting, half a ton of weight, not necessarily something you want people to do. You let the robot do it and drive there. And just the last point would be on architecture when it talks about strategy. So amplify your strengths, eliminate or reduce and simplify things that are not strategic. Architect it well and build it really well. And we were having a conversation about the importance of a data foundation. During the pandemic, we used artificial intelligence to predict where demand was going to be even before the customers started wanting things. And with that, we were able to shift inventory across multiple banners so that we could actually put product in place before demand hit. And when demand hit, we already had product. And so as others didn't have product, we were there. Now, the only way we could do that is because of the work we did around creating a very solid data foundation. Every interaction, every touch point gets brought together in a centralized way and then curated and produced so that it can be consumed by the AI. Had we not done that, had we just done a bunch of siloed components, the AI, the ML components on top of that wouldn't have been as effective as what we had. So architecture is such an important component, thinking about scale and long-term applications of AI.
So I know that my experience as a consumer is going to be based on what I find on the shelves. But physically speaking, is there an application of AI in the store that I should look out for, or that's going to transform my experience?
Yeah, I mean, AI will be everywhere. We recently launched a capability that's got a lot of TikTok buzz. I'm not really a TikTok person, but it's gotten a lot of TikTok buzz. And it's this idea of, you're in a store, we know up to the minute where product is, we'll tell you the location and aisle number and inventory. But now on your app, you click on it, it'll just start blinking. So you can really now just find things extremely quickly. All of that data and everything, every interaction then feeds back into other AI models, so then allow us to curate, what are people really looking for, and do they actually make that purchase, and do they not make that purchase? And so that interaction that you have there is going to be, pretty interesting. We announced last quarter that we will be launching this year, at the end of this year, a pilot in conversational commerce using generative AI. And that might sound like a chatbot. Chatbots have been around for a long time. The way traditional chatbots work, are they're just FAQs, frequently asked questions. We know that everyone's going to ask for this. We already have a pre-canned answer for that thing. What generative AI does is it answers NBAQs, never before asked questions. Customer comes in and they say, hey, I want a blender that's going to create a mango and ground beef smoothie. Not a frequently asked question.
We could partner on that.
Yeah, we could do something together. It'd be great. But it becomes, well, instead of just saying I can't answer, you just logically have that conversation now, and you start to go, well, what do I need to understand about that? I have to, from a cleaning perspective, from a power perspective, and then you can actually hopefully lead that customer to making a decision instead of just leaving them hanging because we never thought of that question. So that experience will translate both online and in-store, and we'll power our associates and the tools within the stores with that similar kind of capability. So it's not there yet.
I was going to
try it. It's not going to work, but it's coming.
Congratulations on that. That's really exciting.
It's very exciting.
So if I were to ask the three of you, and I ask Mark this, what are you excited about? What is something that's coming up? Mathieu, you kind of announced it already, but how do you see, what gets you going about where AI is going to take your respective companies next?
Well, there's endless opportunities with AI. what we're thinking about is how to manage this space really as it's accelerating. And for me, it's like three things. One, we need to make sure that we talked about security, we talked about privacy, we talked about ethics. So we need to do AI responsibly, and that's our job as practitioners, and that we've been tasked with this from our organizations. The second one is learning. It's the immense opportunity of learning, raising the ceiling, raising the floor for our teams so that it becomes really a tool, as Mark said earlier, to actually do things faster and do things better every day. And then the third one, we need to move fast even. So we need to have processes in place and structures that can allow us to experiment, fail fast, and then move on. Those are, for me, like the three parts that excite us, but they're challenges as well.
Gary, does the speed of how fast things go scare you?
Sometimes it is, but I think it's the process that you go through that gives you the confidence that all those learnings can be used to actually move this space forward. It's really commitment from the organizations, two things working together, and then really leveraging what opportunities we have in the ecosystem. We live in a place, it was said yesterday, and we can't stress it enough, like, this is a great place to do AI today, right? So, and then leveraging that. And then the second one is just making sure that we create value every day.
Right.
And that's the most important thing for us,
Right.
yeah.
Mathieu, besides the partnership with Scale AI, what's next?
For us, so as we're just starting that process, there's an area where I think there's always change management in every project, every technology. This one is massive. And just thinking about the amount of change and leading that, be the one at the organization that's going to be leading that is exciting, a bit scary. And it's all level, I think. The exec level, you have to manage expectations because they're thinking that all of a sudden, this is a silver bullet that's going to do everything. But then you also the people that will be using these products on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, you need to learn how to use these superpowers, to use the same analogy. So it's different than if you were doing the same thing 20 years ago, the same over again. And then I'm in charge of IT. So for IT, how do you basically bring these brain extensions and put them on your stack? It's something you have to plan ahead. And so a lot of dramatic change in a very short period of time that I believe in the end is going to deliver a lot of good business results, good things for the employees, and ultimately for sure for the consumer.
Rex, besides the blenders who can make almost anything, and Gen AI, what are you excited about, and what can we look out for at
the potential is unlimited. I compare generative AI to electricity, the discovery of electricity. We didn't know when we discovered electricity that we would have televisions or the internet or smartphones. We didn't know any of that. There's no way we could have known that. And I see generative AI in exactly that same category. And so the more we start to do things, the more we start to unlock of new opportunities. So I'm extremely excited by that. And just to build on something that Mathieu had talked about, when you give people superpowers, it can be really dangerous. And we've seen what happened when we started to unlock reporting capabilities to the general public. It used to be you needed a specialist, someone who could do it, and then it became democratized. And you had a lot of people that started making false conclusions, overconfidence, and bad decisions because they had these tools. And so with generative AI, we run the risk that if you don't do exactly what Mathieu is saying, which is proper change management, proper training, proper education, you can actually create more problems than actually solve. The proliferation of things and not understanding. The other day, I was talking to somebody who told me how they were using ChatGPT. We have our own internal version we call ChatCTC. It's closed loop, and so we don't actually share anything back into open source. But they were saying, oh, it's not very good. And I said, well, why is it not very good? And they said, I asked it to summarize something for me, and it didn't put it in bullet points, and it didn't do it in a chart. And I said, why don't you just ask it, put it in bullet points in a chart? You can do that? Yeah, you can do that. And so you train people on this kind of thing. And unfortunately, a lot of us techies aren't really good at explaining things. So we say things like prompt engineering. Why? Me just ask better questions? Yeah, that's what I meant. Well, say ask better questions. And so how do you help people ask better questions? And so that's going to be an extremely important component on these technologies, I think.
And it comes back to responsibility, which is how we started the conversation. So between Canadian Tire, Aldo, Unilever, Metro, these are giants, legacy brands, but there's also emerging companies. And so, Nabil, talk to us about draft to goal.
So,
yep.
May I take the stage?
You may.
Morning, everyone. A lot of very interesting ideas here. But I have a question for you. Who in this room works for a company that has fully and successfully deployed generative AI in their business as of today? So, not many. I see a couple of hands. There might be a reason behind that. Businesses require accurate answers to operate, shockingly. Inaccuracy is unacceptable for enterprise use case where compliance, customer satisfaction, or security is involved. Also, we want to talk with an AI that understands our context as a business, our customers, our goal, our products. And finally, except if you turn every single of your employee as a prompt engineer, there is no replicable and scalable way to execute a complex task with the chatbot. So, yeah, by now you figured out there must be a better way to use AI in enterprise. So, let me introduce you to Draft and Goal. Draft and Goal is a solution that allows companies to deploy complex and accurate workflows in their business. We provide an end-to-end solution to deploy AI workflows that have a real business impact. At Draft and Goal, we believe that the only way to leverage AI in a measurable, predictable, and impactful way is to integrate it directly in your workflows. So we address many AI-related issues. So the first one is accuracy. We enhance the model with external and internal data. External data to give more insight and context, and internal data, the one that are coming from your business, to give more precise and accurate answers. Draft and Goal has a modular interface. So you can build any use case by creating a workflow that's an automation of multiple tasks. Because it's a no-code platform, any team member, no matter their technical proficiency, can use the solution. With Draft and Goal, you can deploy and create any AI application that your business may require. And there's one more thing. It's private. So basically, all your data is securely stored on your own infrastructure, so you ensure all your business and your client privacy. So let me give you a quick example of a workflow that could be built on our platform. So we know that the future of e-commerce is personalization. One size fits all product description won't make it in the future. We want to be able to generate product description that are relevant to the final user. So with Draft and Goal, we've created a workflow that gather different types of data sources, product description, product reviews, and we combine them also with the customer profile and its purchase history. Et voilà. Here you have a product description that's tailor-made for Nabil. It's been generated in real time, and it's relevant. The beauty of draft and goal is that it's agnostic. You can use it and leverage it in any of your business unit. The example that I've shown you before is just one of the many different workflows that you can build with draft and goal. So thank you for listening to me today. If you have any curiosity left, you can reach out to me or visit us at the booth number 8. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nabil. Maxime, you are both a professor in a retail management school and in a business school, yeah. And you're an AI strategic advisor, which is, I'm sure, it's a pretty new title. So you have a little bit of a crystal ball, and you're going to talk to us a little bit about what we may expect in the future, but also about things that you've noticed and things we should look out for.
Yes, thank you very much, Martin. So typically, the tricky part of being the last in a panel is if your fellow panelists are 1 minute late each, you have very little time. But this time, everybody did an impeccable job of being on time, so I have my full time. So thank you very much for my co-panelists. So the topic I want to talk is to leverage AI for retail excellence, which is definitely the topic of the panel. I was extremely pleased, it was really music to my ears to learn these giants, as Martin said, embracing AI, believing in the power of AI in a responsible fashion to disrupt the retail industry. So very briefly about myself, so I hold the Scale AI chair, and I take this opportunity to thank Scale AI as an organization that is sponsoring this event today. I'm at McGill University. This year I'm on sabbatical, so I spend some time at Yale University in the US. And I'm also a scientific advisor in AI at Ivado Labs. I had the pleasure in the last 3 years to work with several retailers, including Aldo, including Canadian Tire, including Loblaws, and many others, through my work at Ivado Labs. I'm also engaged with 2 other companies, which I would like to acknowledge. I'm the Chief AI Officer of Elna Medical, the largest network of clinics in Canada, as well as the integral digital group to do marketing driven by AI. In terms of background, so I did my PhD at MIT, and after that I was a prof at NYU, and I was at Google AI also in New York City. Now, the outline of today, again, I have like just a few minutes, unfortunately, is to first have one slide about retail analytics. And to me, it's a big challenge because I do teach at McGill a full semester class on retail analytics, 39 hours. I'm also teaching a 1-hour version of retail analytics, the one I taught at the Metro Executive Program. And today, it's my first time doing it in one slide, so in 2 minutes. So it's going to be very, very high level, very brief. Then we're going to talk about retail decisions driven by AI, and here the list goes very long. And finally, I'd like to show you a topic very close to my heart, which is a collaboration between McGill University, the Ben Sadoun School of Retail Management, as well as Couche-Tard, where we launched the Retail Innovation Lab, which is actually walking distance from here, open to the public, so you're more than welcome to go visit it. Perfect. So let's get started. What is retail analytics in one slide? So to me, retail analytics has 3 levels of maturity. There is descriptive analytics, or descriptive AI, which tries to answer the question, what happened in the past? So the goal is very simple. You have a lot of data. Data is a first foundation. Once you have the data, you can look at the data to try to understand what happened in your data, in your business, in particular in your retail sector. You can learn new patterns, something you didn't know from the data. You're going to look at it and hopefully learn new things. You can do customer segmentation. If you collect a lot of features about your customers, you can use those features to build some cohorts of different types of customers to later on personalize, as several of the panelists were mentioning here. And you can identify new trends. As soon as something emerges in your data, you can be more proactive and react to this new trend by doing descriptive AI. Typically, when you do a task of descriptive AI, you're going to build the most common tool called a dashboard. A dashboard is just a data visualization tool that allows people in the company to visualize what's going on in your business through a lens of data. What I really like about dashboards, it somewhat democratizes access to all the functions of the company. It can be marketing, it can be sales, it can be accounting, to just look through a lens of data. The second level of maturity of AI in retail is called predictive AI or predictive analytics. And here, the task is already much more ambitious. We are trying to answer the question, what is likely to happen in the future? So you look at the data from the past, but now you try to make some inference about what is likely to happen in the future. So here, the biggest use case called demand prediction. I want to use the past transactions in my business to predict the demand. A topic very close to my interest. Spent the last 3 years with 3 of my fantastic authors writing a book called Demand Prediction in Retail, where we explain the entire pipeline on how to do that. We did that with more than 30 retailers in Canada, in the US, in Europe, and that's a very big use case where AI can really help the retail sector. Another one is more classification problems. When you want to classify different types, think about food. The food is expired, not expired. You want to classify it. And the third potential use case is anomaly detection, when you want to detect very rare events that can happen in your retail supply chain or in your retail distribution center. Now, the third level of maturity of AI is called prescriptive AI, and here it's even more ambitious. The goal is to use the data and some sort of mathematical modeling to answer the question, which actions should I take in my business? And here, the sky is the limit. Like Rex was saying before, we can answer a lot of questions in terms of data-driven decision-making, pricing optimization, promotions, planogram, assortment, inventory, supply chain, you name it. And there was also a lot of recent work in retail that I'm very excited about in terms of using prescriptive together with A/B testing in order to test different proactive actions to know what works best for which type of customers. So again, one slide, retail analytics. Typically, descriptive AI will take 3 to 4 months, predictive 6 to 9 months, prescriptive 1 to 3 years. To do the full pipeline will take at least a couple of years, and through my work at Ivado Labs in the last 3 years, we had the privilege to do that with several Canadian corporations when we really help them from descriptive to predictive all the way to prescriptive. Now, in terms of retail decision driven by AI, I can also speak for a lot of time. There is a lot of decision in retail. The first one starts with profiling and segmentation of your customer user base. Second one can be pricing and promotion that we mentioned. Third one can be targeted advertising and offers. Now, with this hyper-personalization that Nabil was mentioning before, we can potentially use the data to do some super personalized experience, either in the shopping or in the offer, the promotion, the emails, and so on. All the decisions related to inventory and supply chain, definitely a big focus of AI having an impact in retail. Assortment and planogram decision, we did a very large project called Tetris with Canadian Tire and Ivado Labs, where we optimize all the planogram decisions to know where to locate items on different shelves in the store. Personalized recommendation is also a very big use case where AI can really help quite a bit to personalize the shopping experience. And like Mark was mentioning, between Metro and Coveo, that's something also where Ivado Labs is involved in order to personalize better the experience. Of course, logistics and delivery also a big topic, and also some sort of strategic, more tactical decision like opening a new store. In the last 3 minutes of my presentation, I want to talk about this initiative called the Retail Innovation Lab, or in short, the RIL. The vision of the lab is to blend multidisciplinary research with the latest technologies in order to practice and study responsible innovation for the future of retail. And here is a futuristic side that Martin was mentioning before. This is an initiative between Couche-Tard and McGill that involves several departments of McGill: economics, law, management, marketing, computer science, robotics, and several other faculties. We have a strong focus on social and ethical responsibility, and we are using the latest technologies. We like to call it the store of the future. You see the logo of Couche-Tard. Under the logo, there is a word connected. This is the only connected store of Couche-Tard in the world, the first frictionless store in Canada. So basically, it's located on the McGill campus. Again, it's walking distance from here, downtown Montreal, at the corner of Sherbrooke and McTavish. We're using state-of-the-art technology. We have the first frictionless retail experience, so customers can download an app, Couche-Tard app, come to the store, shop inside the store, tap the app in a special device, and just go out of the store without any friction. You don't need to wait in a checkout line. You don't need to make any type of payments. You just do everything through the app without any friction. We also have a system of dozens of cameras on the ceiling, being able to track the trajectories of customers in a fully anonymized fashion. We don't do any type of facial recognition. We don't collect any private information, but we can track the customer trajectories to understand the flows of customers in the store, how long people are spending in each part of the store in order to optimize the layout of the store, the planogram decisions, and many more. And again, I invite you to visit the store. The store is located here downtown, open to the public 24/7. So in the last minute, just would like to present what we did in the lab, the Retail Innovation Lab, in the last few years. We had a very large research project trying to understand how people are shopping and how can we incentivize customers to eat more healthy. So we really want to nudge customers toward healthy food choices. So we change the location of different healthy food, non-healthy food, and see how can we switch people in order to have better habits in terms of healthy food choices. We did also a very big project on planogram optimization, like I was mentioning before. We did a project on demand prediction for new stores. We did a project on visual search, where customers can come with a smartphone, take a picture of a product. It will automatically recognize the product. And if you have any type of food allergies, you can put them on the app, and it will tell you if this product satisfies the food allergies or not. As I said, because we have trajectory data as well, we can also optimize the store layout. We try to move the coffee machine in several positions in the store to see how the flow is changing and how it affects the cross-selling opportunities of Couche-Tard. And the last thing I would like to mention is about a digital twin. So we have a large team of computer scientists and management professors where we took 50,000 pictures of the stores and we reproduced a digital twin of the store in the metaverse. Allow us to dream a little bit in the next few years. You will be in your basements with your goggles, and you will have an immersive experience of shopping in a Couche-Tard store, touching some products, flipping them, looking at them, clicking on them, and 1 hour later, it will be delivered at your footstep. And that's it for today. Thank you very much, and again, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Maxime. So, thank you to Maxime, to Nabil, to Marc, to Gary, to Mathieu, and to Rex, and to all of you for coming. See you in a store soon. Thank you.
Thank you.